Hello everyone and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between the Bizzare and the Mask here on Concealed Hill. Wow, microphone seems a little high. Let's readjust everything. All right, let's go ahead and break things down into this 1v1 Night Elf mirror match. Mask spawning as the pink Night Elf on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Bizzare spawning as, well, the yellow Night Elf on the top right. No surprise there. I did say mirror match for you guys, so this was something I never really considered or thought of, as my brain is, finally able to focus on some of the leisurely things in life. The Night Elf mirror match and the changes in, overall units. It's probably already been fleshed out, but this will be the first time I really get to see it. As well, hunters or dryads no longer counter huntresses at tier 2. Yeah, interesting to think about right there. They no longer take the bonus damage. Yes, the dryads still outrange. Yes, the dryads still have their poison. I believe, but it's no longer a straight, hey, piercing damage versus unarmored type anymore. So are huntresses perhaps a timely use of units in the matchup until perhaps bears get a little bit later? We'll just have to wait and see. Overall, as we're looking at a demon hunter opening things up, also getting an Ancient of War over here on the top left-hand side of the map. Gonna train up that archer, and both sides are gonna be using that Ancient of War creep to get to nearly level 2. Things getting underway here. Should be a great matchup. Let's go ahead and just speed to the 2-minute mark of this game. Well, there's that Keeper of the Grove. Going to go ahead and pop on out. Is he going to try to summon up any treants? No treants there. So, interesting. It hasn't summoned up any treants. Just going to let the Ancient of War do its thing. It did pick up that Ring of Protection +3, and that's it. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter is already running off to the north as well. Just getting that first kill, and pretty much that is going to be it there. You can see that. Oh, who's going to get the final shot off that Forest Troll Trapper, trying to really ensnare that one Wisp. That's actually kind of funny. Is he going to get the last hit? No, you do not want that. Oh! He does get the last hit. All right, so Demon Hunter doesn't get the experience there. Does get to level 2, though, as the Demon Hunter perhaps should be toggling off that immolation and then making its way back down. Keeper of the Grove also made its way off to the north using some tree ends, clearing up some of the sea turtles, or well, one of the sea turtles, as the Keeper of the Grove now makes its way back out as well. Does have a Cloak of Shadows, perhaps, envious of all the other female night elves out there being able to shadow meld, as the Keeper of the Grove now makes its way down. Alright, down here on the southern side, a Demon Hunter going after giant sea turtles, and these other turtles here are going to go ahead and easily finish it off. Now going off these last two, turning off Immolation as well. Good when there is 3 targets around, not necessarily the best when there's only 2 targets or 1. Oh, are we going to see an Entangle? There's a Mana Burn, and we're going to see some Moonwell. There's an Entangle onto an Archer. Archer most likely will get taken down here as the Tree Ents are able to do a little bit of damage. There's a second Mana Burn onto the Keeper of the Grove, as we're looking at a little bit of damage go down onto... Oh, no, that Tree Ent looks like he will be able to get away. All right, one taken down right there. Archer still making their way off to the north. Little bit of damage. Demon Hunter perhaps going to try to fight next to a Keeper of the Grove at a Fountain of Health. Both of them. All right, so the Keeper of the Grove is like, you can't hit me. And then the Demon Hunter's like, okay, so if I can't hit you, then that's fine. I'll heal up as well. I have more hit points to heal. And the Demon Hunter chases the Keeper of the Grove back away once more. All right. Well, one viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, however you may be watching or listening. For all you guys out there on YouTube, which is the vast majority of those who will be watching this video, please remember to like, subscribe, all of that social media jazz. And if you do have a free Amazon Prime subscription to use, please consider using it for me. It does help, pay the bills, so to speak, as we see a quick detonation right there. Keeper of the Grove, just using the Entangle to force a detonation onto a Wisp, and that is just a lost Wisp again. So that is going to perhaps cause some lumber issues. In a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, lumber is incredibly important, as we now are at tier 2. It was just a bunch of mass archers, no huntresses in this fight here, as the Keeper of the Grove makes his way down. not going to be able to do very much of anything, as Tree of Ages going to be forced to try and stay at tier 2 a little while longer, because it needs to train up wisps in order to have enough lumber at tier 3. We are at Tree of Ages here. There's one Ancient of Lore. I don't see a second one. Ancient of War tanking a lot of damage, as we see a Pit Lord as the second hero. Alright, so the Pit Lord as the second hero, interesting call. Pit Lord able to cause a lot of problems, Howl of Terror, Rain of Fire, but normally not used in a Night Elf mirror match. Is the Keeper of the Grove going to try and get another Entangle off onto more units? We are training up more Wisps still by TheMaSk. Meanwhile, off to the north here, there is Bizzare teching the tier 3, perhaps going to be trying to get to bears quickly, to get bears. Alright, coming back down across here, we can see Bizzare continuing to just put in pressure. We can see that the Pit Lord is sitting at level 2, so he did level up as well. Keeper of the Grove just hanging around over here. There's that tech to tier 3 as the Pit Lord now reaches back. There is one Wisp hidden amongst here, and that's a little bit of a cheeky play. You would only see it if you look at the mini-map. You know, you're not really looking to see the color of the wisps inside your neck of the woods. Keeper of the Grove. Well, Keeper of the Grove still trying to finish off. Is it going to finish off a wisp? No, it is not. Very, very low hit point wisp. A lot of them. There is another mana burn. And the Keeper of the Grove with Boots of Speed will be able to outrun that Demon Hunter, I believe. Yep, able to outrun that Demon Hunter as, well, they have the same speed, and now we're going to see the Demon Hunter retreat back again. Alright, Pit Lord sitting at level 2. Dryads are out on the battlefield. Keeper of the Grove is sitting in the center portion here. We are teching the tier 3. Those Druids of the Claw getting Abolish Magic and Druid of the Claw Adept training as well, as the Pit Lord looks to finish off the remainder of this creep camp. Does pick up a Potion of Replenishment, has Cleave, and also has that Howl of Terror. Alright, there's a mana burn again. There's Immolation, little bit of damage. Yeah, Immolation going up against a Pit Lord with Cleave. That's not exactly what you want to be seeing. Demon Hunter trying to finish off the Archer. Archer going to get taken down by the Demon Hunter there. I thought for a second the Forest Troll Shadow Priest might be able to get the damage, as the Keeper of the Grove purposely gets into harm's way to try and protect. Invul Potion now used by Mask, though. That Archer is still in the back portion there. Is the Demon Hunter going to try to find that Archer? Yes, it will. Yep, there it goes. And now this could be a problem. Demon Hunter taking a lot of damage. Slow Poison is going to be able to get away down to 35 hit points. If the Roar was down a little bit earlier, wow, it would have been taken down. All right. Pit Lord perhaps going to head back off to the north here. Forest Troll, High Priest, well, trying to heal back up, but not going to be able to do that, as the Keeper of the Grove needs to get, a little bit more mana and perhaps rejuvenate that, or get a rejuvenation from the Druid of the Claw. Now, Mask going with a much more typical tavern hero in that Naga Sea Witch. Still gotta wonder sometimes when you see a Pit Lord as that second hero, was it a misclick by chance, right? Remember, tavern heroes, when you train them, they train instantaneously. It's not like you can accidentally train the wrong hero here as a Pit Lord and everyone fighting back and forth here. Pit Lord in a little bit of trouble, down to 103. The main battle is going to be for this Pit Lord. Who's going to get the Ogre Lord? Who's going to get the experience? And the experience does go to TheMaSk. So level 3 on the Demon Hunter, level 2 on the Naga Sea Witch. And, well, Bizzare's Ancient of War suffering quite a bit of damage here. Could also get taken down as well. Tome of Strength and get picked up here. Units are trying to retreat back now. Are we going to see, yes, one Archer going to get taken down by a Forest Troll Trapper, but the Demon Hunter going to be able to clear up the remainder here. Bizzare still trying to go after those units. And should be interesting if they just attacked that Ancient of War. Wouldn't the Ancient of War, get taken down? Yeah, they would take it down, lose aggro. You can see that Ancient of War still taking damage, as the Pit Lord now off to the north, looking to, well, clear up this creep camp here. So Pit Lord with decent armor, 9 armor, but not going to be able to be easily healed aside from rejuvenation. All right, so the Druids of the Claw are going to be playing a lot of healing games on those Pit Lords. Meanwhile, this game is unfolding in a rather strange way here, as Bizzare perhaps going to make its way back down again and, well, go try to clear up some Wisp. There's some detonations, And well, the mask is just constantly being forced to train up more and more workers, and now finally opted to go for a Goblin Shredder instead. All right, Keeper of the Grove back off to the north here. Dryads.
Players' forces are under attack.
Units wandering around. We can see in the center here, the Ancient of War. Is it going to take up? Nope. The Forestral High Priest deciding not to attack it. This is a bit of a strange game in terms of pacing. We're 10 minutes into the game. Level 3 Pit Lord, level 2 Keeper of the Grove. A lot of the creep camps have been cleared out already. We only mainly have some, like a few straggler green creep camps, but mainly only red creep camps left, and some of those have also been cleared out. But we don't have that many. I would say, powerful, like, game-breaking heroes yet, as they're not really going up against each other, and they're not really fighting each other that heavily. All right, Bizzare may be able to go after this Fountain of Health if he's able to get the Keeper of the Grove over there. That is a lot of Druids of the Claw, not a lot of Dryads, so not a lot of units that can actually shoot up. That is going to be the question there, as the units now look to back away here. There goes that Drake. Drake is trying to go after the Dryad. Dryad purposely trying to get next to that Fountain of Health. Is going to stay close, and now we're looking at the Druids of the Claw finishing off all of the ground units, while the Keeper of the Grove and the Dryad finish off that Red Drake, who is a little bit further away from that fountain, so taking full damage without any recovery. Now, Mask has some ideas, wants to come in perhaps for a creep jack. Druids of the Claw are right there. We're going to see some damage. Oh, what is this? This might be one of the best head fakes I've ever seen. Purposely moving away with the Pit Lord, saying that I'm done with this creep camp, even though we see that he is not. Bizzare is still creeping around here. We're going to be looking at this Druid of the Claw trying to retreat all the way back here. Perhaps get to the Fountain of Health. Level 4 now on the Pit Lord. There's another mana burn onto that Druid of the Claw. No Staff of Preservation. Looking to finish it off. There goes it. There it gets taken down. Picking up Rune Bracers. And now we're going to be making its way back over. All right, there goes another Druid of the Claw. Yellow Druids of the Claw. 2 of them taken down already. Meanwhile, the pink Druids of the Claw do have Roar, Howl of Terror to try and counteract that Roar. And, well, it does seem to be working right now. No Staff of Preservation, though. That is a big loss, as this Druid of the Claw could end up getting lost as well. All right, down to, well, dead, as the Naga Sea Witch finishes off with a Fork Lightning. 42 supply compared to 45. Both sides suffering heavy losses. Who's going to come away first, as the Pit Lord now trying to get away here? We do see Thorn's Aura. All right, so we see Keeper of the Grove falls. All right, was there? I thought I saw Thorn's Aura. Yeah, it is Thorn's Aura. So over Tree Ants. Okay, so units are now trying to back away here. Yellow Druid of the Claw trying to back up. So this is the strategy. Bizzare was trying to go for Keeper of the Grove, Bear, Thorns, or a Cleave to try and win the bear battle. Now, this is going to be a difficult fight. We're looking at the mask coming back across here. Low hit point Druids of the Claw. Nagasi, we're trying to come back across here. We're going to see no Thorns Aura right now, so that is a big loss. There's a Howl of Terror, greatly reducing the amount of damage, as the Pit Lord is swiping away at multiple targets. Is it can actually be able to win out on that battle? Nagasi, which down to 37 hit points, able to back away. We're going to see a Dryad get taken down there. Remember, that cleave damage does, well, spread a lot of damage across multiple targets, as we're going to still see more fighting. All right, there's a little bit of damage there. The cleave perhaps works better when there is 3 or more units around that Pit Lord. But, well, that's definitely not the case here, as the Keeper of the Grove looking to get resurrected. All right, so level 2 Thorns Aura to reflect damage back on those all of those melee attacks. Dryads are going to try and heal. Both sides going to the opposite cleared Fountain of Health. And, well, who's going to be able to bounce back first? I am curious about this level 2 Thorns Aura here. Yeah, the Druids of the Claw not going to be nearly as powerful, as they're going to be taking damage back once that Keeper of the Grove is back out on the battlefield. Add in the splash damage from that natural cleave, from that Pit Lord, and the Howl of Terror, and suddenly we're into this, well, uncharted territory, for at least for me as a caster. Naga Sea Witch going to pick up a Talisman of Evasion. That's going to get taken down. Talisman of Evasion, 15% evasion there. Demon Hunter now making its way back off to the north once more. We can see a Ancient of War off to the north left, making sure that no expansion is placed down. Meanwhile, main bases have about 6 minutes of mining left, and it's going to be perhaps a little bit of time before the two sides actually try and engage against each other. Moonwells, both sides do have the upgraded Moonwell blessing for, well, more healing, 50 over 70 supply compared to 49 over 60. But TheMaSk has a slightly larger army, considering, well, I don't know, how would you count this Goblin Shredder? It does take up 4 supply, counts towards an army, but is back at home, clearing the woods instead. Alright, Goblin Shredder, well, dropping off some lumber at the Tree of Eternity. Is there a lumber issue for TheMaSk? Definitely not. Doesn't really care that it's very, very far away. Keeper of the Grove just walking around. Boots of Speed is going to be able to get away easily. No Boots of Speed on the Naga Sea Witch. Demon Hunter still trying to chase here. And there's another mana burn onto that Keeper of the Grove. The Keeper of the Grove, though, doesn't really seem to mind not having that much mana, as both sides now suddenly go into a low upkeep at nearly the identical times. 58 over 70 supply, 58 over 60, wanting to win out that bear war if they can. All right, a little bit of damage here. We're going to see some creep camps getting cleared up. Demon Hunter is back here. All right, we can see Thorn's Aura is available across all of these units. Is this a live tournament? No, it is not. Just taking some highlight replays from WarCraft 3 info. All right, there goes an Entangle onto TheMaSk. One Druid of the Claw going to get taken down. Pit Lord swiping. So, yeah, I'm going to call it a Pit Lord swiper. That cleaving damage is just swiping across multiple units, dealing good damage here. There's a Scroll of Healing, saving a Druid of the Claw temporarily. Is going to be able to save long enough? No, it is not. There's level 5 now on that Demon Hunter. Remember, there is Thorn's Aura for the Keeper of the Grove at level 3. So, level 2 Thorn's Aura. These Druids of the Claw are trying to retreat back. Are we going to see some rejuvenations? We are. There goes another yellow. And Pink is just be able to save up more of those units here. This low hit point Druid of the Claw now needing to back away. 46 supply compared to 50. Both sides fighting. Demon Hunter still diving across here. There's another Scroll of Healing used again. Pit Lord with very heavy armor. Is he going to get saved here? He gets Staff of Preservation out. Naga Sea Witch gets pulled out here. And both sides suffering very heavy casualties. But TheMaSk able to walk away with 46 supply compared to his opponent's 38, winning out, well, on 2 bears. So the Bears, major saves right there. 46 supply compared to 47 now, retraining up those Druids of the Claw. Meanwhile, Mask has, well, spent some time setting up a Tree of Life and will be able to entangle here on the southern side. Both sides continuing the fight here. Bizzare diving in with a relatively small number of units, only the heroes, and 1 Druid of the Claw. Swirl of Town Portal now being forced to try and retreat back here. We're going to see a little bit more damage. Howl of Terror, well, doesn't seem to be removing enough of that damage. Minus 16, though. That is fairly significant. And, yeah, more than the, I believe, was that a detonation there? Yeah, there was a detonation. Perhaps one of the wisps that were hiding on the other side here. All right, Keeper of the Grove needs to get healed. These Druids of the Claw also need to heal up their taxed brothers as well. And we're going to be looking at perhaps a slight engagement. There's the Roar, perhaps a rejuvenation onto a lower hit point. There's a transformation, yes, using those Moonwells on Druids of the Claw to gain mana. And then heal up other units. Much more mana efficient. I liked seeing this use of, well, mana management, Moonwell management for Night Elf. All right, both sides continue to engage here. Pit Lord in that frontline spot. Is he going to start swiping? He needs to. But he is much, much slower because of those cold arrows. That's not something I accounted for. A lot of damage here. Pit Lord now down to 108 hit points, being forced to retreat all the way back. But the Naga Sea Witch could have troubles. Naga Sea Witch falls. Keeper of the Grove now down to 40 hit points. Keeper of the Grove could get taken down. So Naga Sea Witch and Keeper of the Grove both fall here. Dryads trying to retreat back here. Druids of the Claw going to engage. And now Demon Hunter, is it going to be in trouble? Down to 130 hit points. Does he have a way out? It looks like he's trying to retreat back out. Pit Lord is back in the fight. What is he doing? The Pit Pit Lord could have engaged here, perhaps trying to fight against some of those other units. Demon Hunter trying to come back around. I'm going to see a rejuvenation. Yes, rejuvenation onto the Pit Lord. Pit Lord down to 5 hit points. He's able to escape. He gets up to level 6, and he is still somehow alive and well. He's going to turn his back to this fountain of health and say, you know what? Maybe I can swipe back after all of these units too. He is still healing up, down up to 449 hit points, and going after these units. Suddenly, TheMaSk losing a large number of units here. The Pit Lord is still trying to swipe after all of these Invul Potion on the Demon Hunter, and the units are going to be retreating back. All right. Bizzare making sure to shut down this expansion by Mask. Once this expansion is gone, then the economic advantage is gone, and Bizzare will have the army size advantage as the Keeper of the Grove is resurrecting. Meanwhile, Naga Sea, which resurrected at the tavern, already coming back around here. We're looking at some big damage, but that is going to get taken down already. Bizzare, Demon Hunter trying to fight its way through. We're going to see the Pit Lord trying to swipe its way out. There's a bunch of detonations. There's one, there's two, trying to fight its way through. Pit Lord down to 100 hit points, trying to escape away, down to 31, down to 2. He's going to try to get away. No, does not get it. Now level 6 on the Demon Hunter of TheMaSk, as we're looking at a lot of damage getting racked up onto some of these other units as well. Beautiful Staff of Preservation for the save. 57 supply compared to 40. Low hit point units. Level 5 now on the Naga Sea Witch of TheMaSk. And now level 6, level 5 compared to 2 dead level 4 heroes. A quick turnaround there as the lower hit point units do need to retreat back. More Druids of the Claw are showing up, but they are not in a battle form. Not in battle mode. Need to get some rejuvenations across some of these lower hit point units, and the army size of Bizzare and the fact that they still have hit points, the main difference there. TheMaSk, however, losing the expansion on the southern side, sets him back temporarily. Keeper of the Grove gonna make its way back out onto the battlefield here in just a moment. Followed after that is gonna be the Pit Lord resurrecting the old-fashioned way. Is a little bit cheaper, but you're out of action longer, as you can imagine. And we saw how important that Naga Sea Witch was in that last battle, resurrected at the tavern, healed up at the Moonwells, and being able to get off of Fork Lightning and get in some early damage here. All right, there's a roar. Keeper of the Grove needs to make a move with this Tree of Eternity. Is this Tree of Eternity on the move? Yes, but TheMaSk did not get Nature's Blessing. That is going to be a slow walk. I know both sides says very slow, but I'm sure you guys can see the difference in movement speed yourself. All right, both sides going to engage here. Keeper of the Grove, Demon Hunter. We should be looking at Metamorphosis. Why isn't he turning it on? There's Metamorphosis going straight after these units now. Range, Chaos, Poison damage for damage over time, and that it does stack up a little bit more. Meanwhile, the Tree of Eternity taking a little bit of damage. Ancient of War taken down here, and now we're going to be looking at the Goblin Shredders and all of these other units still continuing to fight. All right, are we perhaps going to get a Staff of Preservation to try and save some of those bears? Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove down here on the southern side going after the Tree of Eternity. This is kind of like an interesting thought here. Units are just making their way down. Does the Keeper of the Grove actually have... No, does not have a Scroll of Town Portal, and now going to try to focus down this Tree of Eternity instead. Wisp now making their way through. The bear is able to take down the Tree of Eternity off to the north here, so both sides tried to set up expos. Both sides are going to get stopped here, and now we're going to be looking at the Demon Hunter, trying to clean things up. All right, Naga Sea Witch, Staff of Preservation, low hit point, Druid of the Claw, yes, does get saved. It actually does get sent back. I think it gets sent back home. There is no longer a Tree of Eternity down, and we're looking at a low hit point Druid of the Claw getting finished off by the Naga Sea Witch. Mana Burn, Demon Hunter, Fork Lightning, the Naga Sea Witch just running games here, and is the hero levels that is the major problem. And TheMaSk looks like he should be able to survive this, as the Druids of the Claw unable to get to that Demon Hunter. Naga Sea Witch, however, could have some problems. Are we going to perhaps transfer an item? You can see the Druid of the Claw trying to cause problems here. Slow poison from the Dryads, trying to get in front of that Naga Sea Witch, and Bizzare unable to control his units to stop the pathing, and that was the problem there. 36 supply compared to 48 now. Druids of the Claw going to rejuvenate that Demon Hunter back up. You're looking at a Keeper of the Grove getting resurrected. There's some heals going on, and the units are now, looking to retreat back again. 41 supply compared to 48. who has the bigger advantage now? That is the big question. Demon Hunter going to come back off to the north. Level 5 Pit Lord with level 3 Cleave. Level 4 Keeper of the Grove with level 2 Thorns Aura going up against Mass Bears. Here, the Demon Hunter, however, has easy times just trying to mana burn down enemy units and enemy heroes. The Pit Lord has no easy way to spam out those abilities, so the mana burn, oh, well, decent trade here. All right, Moonwells, you need to fight next to your Moonwells. You just put them on auto filter, and now go ahead and fight here. Pit Lord needs to get, there's a Howl of Terror, greatly reduced damage across the board, completely, well, negating that roar now. So plus 11 damage compared to minus 5, a 16-point damage difference. There's a Fork Lightning, however. Mass is still getting in some big damage across as the Demon Hunter does turn on Immolation. All right, Pit Lord's Cleave versus Immolation. Mask is dealing major damage here as the units are still trying to retreat back. 48 supply compared to 29. There goes another unit again. Fork Lightning taking down another Druid of the Claw as we're looking at some low hit point units. Are we going to see the Naga Sea Witch? Naga Sea Witch could be in trouble, down to 104 hit points. Could get taken down. One more attack, and now the Naga Sea Witch down to 48 hit points. Is the Pit Lord going to be able to catch up? That is the question. Just needs one more shot. There's an attack, and the Naga Sea Witch falls. Pit Lord now gets up to level 6. Are we going to see a Doom Guard? All right, so this changes everything. With Doom Guard, suddenly you're going to start going after units, and then they're just going to be they're going to turn into problems here. The Druid of the Claw has a Doom Guard unit next to the Fountain of Health. Units are now trying to make their way back down. He's going to come online and then suddenly attack from that back position, and that's going to change anything. He's going to stomp, perhaps, and now here we go. Doom Guard turning things back around. Are we going to see a stomp here? That is the question. However, there's the stomp. There goes an entangle, and the Doom Guard suddenly causing problems in this massive fight. Metamorphosis online. Keeper of the Grove does have, you remember, Metamorphosis, well, excuse me, we do have Thorn's Aura, so the Doom Guard is still doing major damage. Thorn Aura pushing back. There goes another. There's level 5 now on the Keeper of the Grove. And is the Doom Guard going to be the big difference there? There's another stomp again. Metamorphosis, Demon Hunter in a little bit of trouble, but there's plenty of Moonwells back off to the north for the Keeper of the Grove to try and retreat back to. Doom Guard, the casting time is not, or the cooldown is not that long, only 60 seconds. So the Pit Lord, if it just tries to retreat back, are we going to see another stomp here? There's going to be another attack. There it gets taken down again. As the Keeper of the Grove now trying to retreat back. There's another stomp. Metamorphosis, Demon Hunter trying to go up against the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove gets a entangle onto the Demon Hunter once more. Both sides are still fighting, and you're going to see a little bit of that Thorns Aura damage reflect back once more. 25 supply compared to 27. Naga Sea Witch not getting resurrected. There is no more mining happening anywhere else. Goblin Shredder, this Goblin Shredder could get finished off here. There goes another attack. Goblin Shredder gets taken down. Keeper of the Grove at level 5. Level 6 Pit Lord getting healed up at that Fountain of Health as well. Moonwells are getting back up to capacity. 28 supply as the Altar of Elders now resurrecting the Naga Sea Witch. A crazy matchup where the Doom Guard was the major difference. Now, this is one of those strange situations. The Doom Guard is most effective when your opponent actually has a unit. If it turns into an enemy, 2 heroes versus 2 hero battle at the very end, well, there's nothing to actually cast a Doom Guard on. And with nothing to cast a Doom Guard on, well, suddenly it becomes absolutely useless. All right, it's like Transmute, it's like Charm. So the if the Demon Hunter and the Naga Sea Witch can hold out, since there's no additional training of units anywhere, we're in a really strange spot in this game. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
The town is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
All right, coming back down to the south side. All right, Mana Burn straight up onto the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove, well, remember, does have that level 3 Thorns or reflecting back. Oh, no, is it level 2? Oh, level 2 Entangle, or level 3 Entangle, level 2 Thorns Aura. All right, that is going to reflect back a bit of damage. Slow poison coupled with Orb of Venom poison and reflecting more damage back again. So Demon Hunter already down to 305 hit points. There goes another Entangle. That's going to seemingly last forever and a day as the Demon Hunter uses that Invul Potion to turn things online again. Mana burn back. Demon Hunter going to retreat a bunch of Moonwells as the Doomguard, well, is back out onto the battlefield, and there is that stomp. All right, so Doomguard once more making a big presence known, and I thought this game was, well, clearly in the hands of TheMaSk for so long, but suddenly that Doomguard has switched up everything, getting level 6 onto that Pit Lord, as now the Naga Sea Witch makes her way back out just to get immediately taken down again. Doomguard causing problems galore, and the Doomguard, well, continuing to, well, try and take down additional units. We're looking at more splash or more damage onto that Dryad. Dryad going to get pulled away here. Are we going to perhaps see another stomp as the Doomguard, well, not able to stomp down the Metamorphosis ranged Demon Hunter enough. There goes an Entangle. A unit's trying to retreat back. That Metamorphosis Demon Hunter wants to drink from the Moonwells after it loses all of its hit points because it doesn't want to lose more again. Going to retreat back. There's another full Moonwell, and now perhaps going to try and engage. However, a couple of low hit point Druids of the Claw going to get taken down as well. I do not believe there's really that many more units here. Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat back, taking quite a bit of damage. Doomguard going to come back around. Are we going to see a stomp here? All right, we're going to see a... Oh my gosh, Keeper of the Grove able to escape. Oh no! Mana Burn finishes it off. I thought the Doomguard was going to stomp while they were fighting and perhaps to try and take it down. But no, Keeper of the Grove falls at level 5 as well. The pacing of this battle is just absolutely odd here. Now, in terms of resources, both sides are just relying on Moonwells and these fountains of health to heal. Well, still a lot of gold or a lot of lumber still being harvested off to the side here. Pit Lord now going to heal back up here. There's also a Druid of the Claw. Are they going to try and fight here? This is going to be an odd spot here to be in. Druid of the Claw trying to back away. Demon Hunter does turn on Immolation. And going now after the Pit Lord and this unit here. No resurrection at the altars. What you see is pretty much what you get. Bizzare may try to train up an additional unit here. 16 supply compared to 14. And the, well, Pit Lord trying to fight next to the Moonwell here. Remember, the Pit Lord's cleave is only useful when there are actually lots of units out here on the battlefield. Pit Lord down to 391 now. There's that mana burn, and that's a little bit of a downside for these Moonwells. The Moonwells restore hit points and mana, and, well, he drained all of the Moonwell, got a bit of mana as well, only to see him lose a lot more hit points, well, because of the mana burn having mana to actually remove. 14 supply. Oh, there is only workers out here on the battlefield. This is one of those, right? There's 9, if there is in fact 9 workers for TheMaSk, at this stage in the game, do you purposely just detonate all of your wisps to make sure that the Doomguard doesn't have a target to try and, well, to try and convert and create another Doomguard? Is that what you do? That is odd here, and then it would be a solo Demon Hunter. Oh, the Doomguard is perhaps looking for targets. It's got to find something here, right? Doomguard, yeah, Doomguard or Wisp. Yep, Doomguard or Wisp. That Wisp is going to go ahead, turn into a Doomguard, and now make its way back out onto the battlefield here. All right, we're looking at some treants now. Demon Hunter going up against these other units. Doomguard now making its way over. Druids of the Claw are trying to engage here. Ancients of Lore, triple Ancients of Lore in fighting as well. There's some mana burns. Or do we see a Staff of Preservation? We do not. Doomguard now making its way over. Are we going to see... yes, there's that cripple. The cripple on the Demon Hunter. Are we going to see a stomp? We are. And the Demon Hunter is going to fall, giving level 7 to the Pit Lord. And, yeah... Let me know in the comments below if you think TheMaSk had detonated all of his wisps so that no Doomguards could show up. Could TheMaSk have won that game? Let me know in the comments below. Here are the final scores.